Since we're in the holiday season, I thought today we would work on the idea of giving and receiving. So it's kind of like an exchange of energy. Giving, we give, and we receive. The challenge is, it's really good to give, right? But a lot of us are not very good at actually the receiving side of things. And when I say giving and receiving, it doesn't have to just be physical gifts. There's all sorts of things that we can give and that we can receive. So for example, compliments, right? We might be good at giving compliments, or we might not. But quite often we're definitely not very good at receiving, at least some of us, right? So when we get a compliment, maybe we kind of downplay something, or right? So we're not necessarily, we don't embrace it and say thank you and oh, that's wonderful, and we don't bask in the glory of that compliment, which is something that we can practice doing. But there's all sorts of other things that we can give and receive as well. There can be love, wisdom, helpful pieces of feedback. So again, we can think about, are we good at getting feedback, or even are we good at giving feedback? Are we good at receiving that feedback? So these are things that we can play with and study ourselves, so we can use that svadhyaya or self-study to consider, do we do that well, or do we kind of have a hard time with it? There's affection. There's things like hard lessons. Hard lessons are also something we can receive and learn something from to help us in the future. Maybe support, kindness, all of those things, affection, wisdom. There's lots of things we can give and receive. But as I said, many of us are resistant to receiving, and it might be that we feel uncomfortable or awkward when we're given something. Whether it's a gift or whether it's a compliment or anything else, it might be challenging for us. We kind of confuse receiving with taking, right? We think that if we're receiving something, then we're being greedy, or we're taking, or we feel undeserving, or maybe we feel selfish or needy. Or on the other hand, we might feel entitled. So sometimes, like if you think about nature, sometimes as a human race, we sometimes feel entitled to use it as much as we want and to receive whatever it has to offer us, without really paying attention to the fact that we're receiving so much and yet we're forgetting to give back. So there's all sorts of different things. Or sometimes we might fear that when we receive something we cannot reciprocate, or maybe we worry that there's some strings attached to receiving something. So receiving is interesting because it requires some kind of vulnerability, some kind of grace, some kind of openness in the heart. But when we receive, it can be really wonderful. If we recognize whatever it is that we're getting as a gift, we appreciate it, we feel deserving, and we can feel nourished by it. And then when we receive well, we can also reflect this out to others. So we can reflect this energy out to others. So that's why it's an exchange of energy. If we're good at one thing and not so good at the other, it becomes less of an exchange, right? And so we're trying to find this flow where we can exchange. When we put out something into the world, and when we receive something in the world, we can reflect those things back. So I kind of like the idea of the sun and the moon. So if you look at the moon, right, can be quite bright. When it's full, it can be quite bright, and it can give that light, that light to the world. But actually, it's just a reflection from the sun that it's passing on to the earth. So we can kind of think of ourselves in that way. When we receive something and we know we appreciate it and we get nourished by it, then we can reflect that out to the world as well, right? When we start to see everything as a gift, we start to see, just nature, what nature has to offer as gifts. We start to see, when we eat, it's a gift, right? If we think of all the hard work and all the wonderful, amazing things that go into, having something that we end up eating, right? If we receive that food as a gift, right, it changes our relationship with the world a little bit. instead of just being entitled up, you know, or we just get it from a box and we forget where it comes from, and we forget that it's a gift that has been, you know, through many people's work, through nature's work, to come to our table and to be eaten, right? So these are things that we start to appreciate. Somebody's smile, it can be a stranger's smile, it can be a friend's smile or a family's smile, right? But these are, we begin to appreciate these little things, the sun's rays, even hard times we might begin to appreciate. So we're going to then play with a little bit of that, with the idea of giving and receiving in this class. Okay, so we'll first of all, we'll find a comfortable seat. We will sit up super tall. We can use your right hand and we can just place the palm so it's facing away from you. And then you can have, so you're giving with this hand, and the other hand can just rest down on your leg, and that's kind of your receiving. So you've got, like, it's a reciprocal thing, it's a circular kind of energy. So you're giving and you're receiving and being open to both. So you can close your eyes here while you have this mudra. And just first of all, checking in with yourself. So before we even get present, maybe you can just notice, you know, how it feels or what your thoughts are in terms of giving and receiving. And however you are at giving and receiving, of course, like everything else, it's something that can be adapted, it can be changed, it can be observed. And it can become something else. So you're just noticing that. And then bring yourself into the present moment. So just maybe setting the intention of really playing with both giving and receiving, but particularly focusing on receiving in this class. And notice maybe that receiving, that idea of receiving might make you cringe a little bit or feel a little awkward, right? We're not used to that. That's okay, just breathe. And we'll play with it and practice with it. So you can notice any sounds around you. Maybe noticing the breeze if you're outside, or if maybe you have like some air circulation if you're inside. And those in itself are gifts, right? So receiving those gifts. Maybe feeling the connection with the ground. Knowing that that ground connects us all. That gift of unity, and receiving that we're all connected. And then bringing your attention to your breath. So inhaling and exhaling here. And recognizing also the inhale is like receiving. You're receiving the gift of breath, the air that sustains you. And exhaling, you're letting your air out, but you also can see that as giving into the world. So that becomes, because your carbon dioxide that you're exhaling becomes food for, or it becomes part of the process for plants and trees. They need it to sustain them. So you're also giving. So taking each breath, each inhale as a gift as you receive it, and exhale, feeling like you're also giving to the world. Slowing the breath down, breathing through the nose. Really letting go of anything that happened during the last week, anything that might happen in the next week. And just bringing yourself into each moment as it unfolds. See that as a gift to yourself. Receive it. Pay attention to it. those details. Slow, deep breaths. Notice what happens in your mind when we pause in a while. Maybe you're ready, your mind is ready to move on. See if instead you can pay attention to enjoying that moment of not doing anything else. Receive that calmness, that time of pause as a gift. Noticing the sound, the vibrations, again receiving them with an open heart. And then you can gently open your eyes, bring your hands to heart center here. We're going to inhale, bringing the arms up, opening the arms here, bringing them behind us as an exhale, opening through the chest with an inhale. And then we're going to reverse it. So we're going to exhale, arms come back up, touch, and inhale, bringing the hands to heart center. So again, inhale, arms open, lift up, hands open with the pinky sides together. Exhaling, coming down with the arms opening through the chest, inhale, and then exhale, arms can come back up, and inhale this time again to heart center. So you take an exhale here as well, and then inhale, reach, open, exhaling here, open through the chest, inhale, and exhale. Here we go. Inhale back to heart center. One more exhale here. Inhale, reaching the arms up, bringing the arms back, opening the chest, inhale, and then exhale, arms coming up, open, and inhale here, opening through the chest. Lovely. And then we're going to come with the arms out here, and exhale, just giving yourself a hug. So allowing yourself to receive that hug. Inhale, you deserve it. Exhale here, give yourself a hug. Inhale, open, and exhale. You can even round your back a bit as you exhale, and inhale, finding openness, sitting up tall. Exhaling here. Last one. And then release. Arms can reach up. We're just coming into a little twist here. That right ear can come down towards that right elbow. So I have my left hand back, right hand on the left knee. Taking a few deep breaths. Again, receiving this pause, this gift of feeling this twist, of feeling length through the neck. Inhaling, calming on up. Exhaling, other way. So first finding your twist, and then bringing the ear down towards that left shoulder. Deep breath. Inhale, calming on up. Exhaling, hands to heart center. You can cross the legs the other way if you like, if they're crossed. And we're just coming into some circles here with the hips. So you can inhale as you come back, and exhale as you come forward. going the other way. Excellent. Calming back to center. You're going to bring your feet in center. You're going to widen them a little bit and just drop them over to one side so they can come over to the left side maybe, and then you're going to twist over towards the left and behind you, calming down towards the mat. Inhaling, coming back through center, dropping the knees the other way, twisting behind you, dropping your chin and face towards the ground. Inhaling, coming up one more time, dropping the knees, twisting here, coming down. Inhaling, coming back up, dropping the knees, exhaling behind you. Lovely, calming into center. We're going to find a way to come up, so we're on our toes here, the balls of our feet. Excellent. And so we can maybe even balance here for a moment. Being careful with the knees. If this is too intense, you can come up some more. Just listening to where you need to be. Deep breaths. And then we're going to work with trying to straighten the legs and coming down. So we're going to exhale forward, inhale up. So you can have hands on the ground if you've got a bit more space. Inhaling, coming up, exhaling, lengthening the legs. You might find you get a little lightheaded, just being gentle and careful. And release here, back into just a squat. So it's an unusual squat, the legs are more together. Taking a deep breath, slowing the heartbeat down, just trying to get your head together. If it's a little bit, feeling a little lightheaded, breathing here. Excellent. And then we're going to come up. So we're going to just play with bending one knee and the other. So I'll show you from the side. You can have your hands here on your shins, or you can have them on the ground, and you can play. You can do it slowly. And then reaching forward, bending knees, arms can come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reaching arms up. You can grab onto the left wrist with your right hand, stretching it up, and then you're going to reach over to the right side, finding a nice stretch. Inhaling through center, switching sides, grabbing onto that right ankle, lifting it up, coming over to the left. Lovely. Calming on up, interlacing fingers behind the head. So we're going to have the feet out a little bit wide again, opening through the chest here. And then you can bend your knees any amount on the way down, but you're exhaling, coming down, inhaling, lifting up. So it's a little bit more strenuous, but just noticing the gifts that you're getting. If it's challenging, you can come into anything else or take it really slowly, just playing with what it offers you. So inhaling, we're up, exhaling. You can even exhale through your mouth as you come down. Ha, 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 insecurities, any frustrations. Ha. Ha. Last time. Ha. Excellent. Releasing the arms, you can bring them to the heart center, close the eyes. Slow breathing here. Receiving this pause as an opportunity, as something lovely that can nourish you. And then gently open your eyes. We're going to bring the feet out, coming into goddess legs. We can come into horse actually here by placing the hands really close to the body. So the shoulders ride up to the ears. This is one of the few times when shoulders can come up to the ears in yoga. So just playing with it, appreciate that gift of allowing your ears and your shoulders to be close, and move from side to side. Notice how it feels. Taking a couple of breaths. And then coming into stillness in the center. We're going to then release the arms, bring them up, opening through the chest. And we're going to turn on the ball of that right foot. So that back foot is lifting, and we're going to come over, facing towards the front with the left side, left foot forward. And you can bring that knee down and really open up through the chest here. Breathing here. Be open to those gifts of the world. Be open to receiving them. Interlacing fingers behind you. Pressing back and down. Again, opening through that chest. Excellent. Releasing through the hands. Hands can come down to the ground. We're going to lengthen here through that front leg. The back foot can, the back at the top of the back foot can come down to the ground. Finding length here through the back. You can always use blocks under your hands here to give you more space, or you can place your hands on your hips. Trying to square your hips off to the front. So left hip coming back, right coming forward. Maybe finding length here, and then exhale, trying to bring your chest down towards your leg. Breathing here. Saying hi to your hamstring and being open to what that hamstring has to offer you in terms of a gift. So even if it's challenging in this pose, really breathe into it and receive that, and allow yourself to be kind and compassionate in response, and take it carefully and slowly. And then we're going to sit back down on that right heel. Inhale, arms are going to reach all the way up. And then we're going to come forward any amount. The toes on the lengthened leg are active, and you might come forward. You might have a strap or something coming that you can use, or just edge your way forward here. Maybe you can grab onto your foot and cross your hands and just pull your body towards that foot, but trying to find openness through your chest at the same time. Great. And then releasing the hands, rebending through that front knee. The hands coming on the inside of this foot here. You can come down into lizard if you like. You can tuck the back toes, lift the back knee if you'd like. Finding maybe a bit of movement here if you want. heel presses back behind you. And then that knee can come down. You can walk your front foot over towards the right, coming into a pigeon here. So finding a little movement from side to side to try and even your hips out, however that goes. From side to side. And you can bring your fingertips down here in front or to the front and a bit to the side of you. Bending through the elbows and just moving from side to side. Notice how that feels. Being open to receive, but knowing when receiving something isn't good for you too. So you can always back off if something doesn't work for your body. That's okay. Finding those boundaries is good too. Excellent. And then you can slowly bring yourself all the way down, forehead onto the backs of the hands. Taking 3 really deep breaths here, releasing through the jaw, releasing through the shoulders, and really breathing into that space in the hips. And then slowly finding your way out, hands down, foot comes back up here, knee is down for the moment, back knee, arms can reach all the way up, shoulders away from the ears, tucking the back toes here, lifting up through that back knee, and then we're going to open up back into our goddess pose. So we can sit down a little bit more here, finding your pose. We can lift up through the heels here. Excellent. We can interlace through the arms here, hands here, pressing down and back in this pose too. And maybe finding a forward fold or something similar. Maybe you've got a flat back here, arms up. It's awkward, just like receiving is sometimes. Breathe into it, allow it anyway. And inhale, calming on up, pressing down and back, hands to heart center this time. We're going to turn the other direction. Excellent. This time we can bring our arms all the way up, dropping the knee down. And you can open here again if you'd like, with your arms in cactus. I'm tucking the back toes, opening the chest up to what the world has to offer, to all that there is to receive. Taking a couple of breaths here. Hands then come down either side of that front foot. We're lengthening through that front leg. Anything you need here to help you. If you need something, some blocks, or if you need to bring your hands to your hips, all good. Finding length. And exhale, coming over that leg, folding over it, and breathing 3 deep breaths. And then when you're ready, slowly coming back to sit back over that left heel. Inhale, reaching the arms up. And then we're going to lean forward and just see where can we bring our hands. And there's no competition, there's no judgment, there's no expectations here. We're just seeing where our hands come. We can keep a back straight, but we can open through the chest. Breathing here. Nourishing that hamstring, giving it a little bit of a workout, but being kind and compassionate to it at the same time. And so you can stay here, or grab anywhere on that leg or foot, but crossing the arms here wherever you go, trying to find length still through your chest, breathing here. And then we can come releasing that, coming forward, bringing the hands on the inside of that foot, staying up if you want to, or coming down if that works for you. And you can tuck the back toes if you want, lifting through that back leg, finding a little bit of movement there. And then that knee can come down, that back knee, toes can untuck. And we're going to come into a pigeon pose, so working that foot over to the left side. You can bring it any distance in towards the groin area too, if that works better. Finding a little bit of movement as you puff open your chest, like a pigeon. So just that movement can help you a little bit, but we're just being gentle, we're being careful. Excellent. And then you can tent your fingers, just placing the fingertips on the ground. Elbows coming out either side of you, and you're just moving here from side to side. Your chest is open, but you're finding a little bit of movement here. And then you can find yourself coming down any amount into a reclined pigeon pose. Finding 3 deep breaths here, remembering that as you inhale each time, you're receiving something, a beautiful gift. And as you exhale, you are also reciprocating. Feeling that exchange in energy. Inhaling and exhaling, that wonderful balance. And then slowly finding your way up, that foot coming back between the hands. You can tuck the toes of the back leg. Inhale, reaching all the way up here. And then coming back into center, finding your goddess pose here. Maybe sitting down a little bit more, maybe moving from side to side. And then reaching up, finding length. And you can heel toe your feet together or towards each other so they become more hips width together, distance apart. And close your eyes here. Slow inhales, slow exhales. Feeling that energy exchange. Enjoying the gift of the pause, receiving fully with an open heart. And then gently opening your eyes here. Great. We're going to come into an eagle pose. So you can be at the front of your mat. We're going to lift that right leg up and then wrapping it around. So it can just be a kickstand, or you can wrap it around the other leg. Arms come out to the side, left over right here. Or you can hug yourself. Either way, elbows coming out, fingers up to the sky. Squeezing everything into midline. Coming on down any amount. Maybe coming forward any amount. unraveling the arms here. The hands come down to the ground. Unraveling the leg here. We're going to lift that leg up to the sky, head coming down towards the ground, standing splits. Breathe deeply. You can also play with balancing on that one foot if you like. And then stepping that foot back behind you. Inhale, reaching all the way up. And then we're going to open here, coming into a warrior two. So with the left foot forward. Reaching in opposite directions. And then we're going to come in to a half moon. So you can step forward on that front leg, lifting through that back leg. Maybe you've got blocks or something you can use to help you here. Finding your half moon. Remembering it, reflecting the rays of the sun. The gift that it's given, it's reflecting it back. Coming back up. Warrior two. Flipping the palm. Exhaling, reversing. Excellent. Coming back to warrior two. Hands coming down to the ground again. Stepping that right leg up to the air, up to the sky. Breathing here. Maybe your leg is feeling this. Receive that gift, that challenge. And then that right leg is going to come down next to the left. Bringing the arms up. Coming into a chair pose on the way up. Sitting down. Noticing how the different legs feel at this stage. And then inhale. Reaching up, hands touch, a little back bend here, heart opening to the gifts of the world. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Close the eyes. Breathe. Opening the eyes here. Other side, left leg lifts. And then you're going to wrap that round. You can either just touch it down to the ground or you can wrap it around here. Arms come out. This time it's right over left. Either hug or arms in eagle. Pressing out and up. Squeezing everything into midline. And then you can come down any amount. Or forward any amount. Breathing here. Releasing through the arms, the hands come down, releasing through the leg comes up. And you can play again with balance if that feels okay. Deep breaths when it gets challenging. Receiving the knowledge, the wisdom of that challenge. Hand comes down. Stepping that foot behind you. Inhaling, reaching arms out and up or forward and up. Warrior one or high lunge, crescent. And then opening up here. Warrior two. Taking a breath. And then we're going to come into our half moon on this side. So stepping forward, lifting through that back leg, activating the toes. If we fall over, if we're imbalanced, that's okay. There's a lesson. There's some wisdom to learn there. Letting go of our egos. It's okay to fall. Breathing here. And then that foot comes back. Warrior two again. Flipping that front palm. Reversing the warrior here. lovely. Hands back into warrior. And then down either side of that front foot. Left leg lifts up. Playing here again with standing splits. And then that foot comes down to meet the other one. They can be together or apart. All good. Coming into a chair pose. Breathe here. Notice it's challenging. Notice how the different legs feel at this point. And inhale, come up, hands touch. Little back bend here. And then exhale. Hands to heart center. Closing the eyes. Slowing the breath down. Deep, slow breaths. And then we're going to come back into some of those breaths we started off at the beginning. Interlacing fingers, elbows out, opening through the chest. Inhale here and exhale out through the mouth. We can come into a fold. Ha. 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 Last one and stay down. Ha. So you can release the hands to the ground. And we're going to also come into that breath we did where we bent one knee and straighten the other. You can have hands to the ground or anywhere on your legs. And then coming down into our squat. So this is the last of the 3 in that series. We're going to open up through the chest here. Inhale and exhale. Coming straight legs. So again, you can use your breath, you can use your exhale as you straighten your legs if you like. Ha. 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 Last one. Ha. And just open up here. You can even open your feet up a little bit, pressing into the knees, finding chest opening here. And close your eyes, receiving all that wisdom, all that experience, all that air, all that oxygen. Receive it with grace, with vulnerability, with gratitude. And release, coming down onto the ground. You're going to just take your left leg out straight, toes active, right foot crosses over. Inhaling, arms come up, reach tall up to the sky. Right hand down as your kickstand, feeling that length through your back still. So I'm just on my fingertips here. And then bending through that arm. We're twisting, looking over that right shoulder. Left arm pressing into knee, knee pressing into arm, twist, activating lengthened leg. Inhale, coming through center, a little twist the other way. And we're going to switch. Arms reach all the way up, activating through that right foot. Left hand down behind you, just on the fingertips to help you really grow even taller. Inhale here. Exhale. Pressing into leg, twisting. and coming through center, you're just coming the other way, just coming down towards the ground. Excellent. Lengthening through both legs. We're just going to roll on down towards the ground. One vertebrae at a time. Relaxing shoulders down to the ground. So we can come up into a shoulder stand here, if that feels good, or if you prefer, you just got legs up the wall, waterfall pose. So your choice. And you're coming into shoulder stand, finding your hands coming into your lower back, bringing your shoulders in, your elbows in towards each other. So there's as little distance between your elbows as possible. The feet pressing up towards the sky. Breathing here. Deep breaths. And then you can come into any variation here. So you can bring your feet together, knees coming out, so butterfly, Baddha Konasana, if that feels good. Or you can come into the splits if you have space, or a straddle. Or if you like, you can bring your legs up overhead, coming into plow pose. And if they don't touch the ground, that's no problem. You can place some books under there, or blocks, or just have them off the ground as much as you need to. You can, if your feet are on the ground, you can interlace your fingers and your arms pressing down into the ground. You can bend your knees and bring them either side of your head if you need to, or if it feels good. And then bringing your hands to your lower back, just gently, one vertebra at a time, calming on down. Coming into fish pose here, which is I love to do as a counter pose. Hands, palms down underneath the bottom, forearms pressing into the ground, chest lifting to the sky, head coming back, lengthening through the neck as we just contracted the neck and the throat area. Being open to receiving. Lovely. And release. Letting go of the arms, bringing knees into the chest here. Giving yourself a big hug, rolling from side to side. You can even come up as a ball for a moment. And then I suggest you bring your feet about mat's width distance apart and just drop your knees over to the left. So your left foot can hook over that right knee. And then your right arm can come out to the side. You can have left hand on your belly or your leg, whatever feels good. And look over your right shoulder if it feels okay on your neck. Otherwise, gaze up to the sky. Close your eyes here and taking 3 deep breaths. Feeling that energy exchange as you inhale and as you exhale, as you're being open to giving as well as open to receiving. Then unhooking the leg, knee comes up to knees come up to center. And then you're going to make sure there's enough space between the legs and drop the knees over to the right side. You can take that right foot, hook it over the left knee, left arm can come out to the side. And you can close your eyes, either gaze at the sky or over your left shoulder. Taking 3 really deep, intentional breaths here. again, being aware of the reciprocity between the breathing, the inhale and the exhale, seeing it as a reflection of the giving and the receiving. And gently coming to center, giving your knees another hug here before Shavasana, giving yourself love, kindness, and then being open to receiving that love and kindness and compassion that you give to yourself. Don't resist it. Take it. It's important. You need it. And then you can stretch your legs out, toes just and feet just falling out to the sides, palms face up, shoulders pressing down. And again, receive this gift here of pausing, of surrendering, of just letting go fully. So there's nothing you need to do here. Just receive the beauty of your practice and all the hard work you put in. Receive the beauty of taking a break. And receive the beauty of just letting go and not needing to do anything here at all. So finding a little bit of movement in your physical body, wriggling your fingers, wriggling your toes, Maybe finding a little bit of movement, encircling wrists and ankles. Maybe stretching your arms up overhead, finding length from toes to fingertips. And then bringing your knees in towards your chest. Giving yourself a really beautiful, unconditional hug. And instead of resisting it, welcome it, appreciate it, finding the grace and vulnerability to take it and find that acceptance, so you can then share that by reflecting it to the world. And rolling onto your right side, bringing your right arm underneath your head if that feels good as a pillow. Fetal pose, feeling the ground there to support you. Receiving that support, being open to receiving it. And gently pressing yourself up into a seated pose, finding length through your back. So you can choose what mudra, what hand gesture you're going to have. You can have palms face up with your thumbs and index fingers touching together, or you can come into that the pose, the mudra that we came into at the beginning of the class, with the right hand up facing away, left arm down on the leg, palm up. So you're receiving and you are giving. Giving with your right, receiving with your left. And we're just going to take 1 minute here just in meditation. So if you find something coming in through your mind, just observe and notice whatever it might be. And then allow yourself to bring your attention back to the present moment. So you can just bring your mind back to your breath, back to your physical sensations, or back to a mantra if you have something you like to repeat. It can be Om, whatever feels good. So it's just 1 minute. See if you can really keep your attention focused, and if it doesn't, and if you end up going off on a little journey with your mind, that's okay, you're human. Giving yourself compassion and kindness and receiving that without beating yourself up. And then bringing your hands to heart center. We're going to inhale, reaching the arms out and all the way up. Receiving, so you can keep the arms spaced away from each other a bit, so they're a little diagonal. And just feeling like you're a funnel, receiving all that the universe has to offer you. Taking a few breaths here. Hands then come touching. Exhale, bringing all of that, the energy had, that energy, and bringing it to your heart center. Inhale, opening the arms up, and again, just leaving them open so you're in a V shape with your arms. taking a few breaths, just really feeling like you're channeling all that there is to offer, and you're receiving it with open arms, with an open chest, with an open mind. So you can then reflect that energy back to the universe, back to others. And again, hands touch. Exhaling, hands to heart center. One more time. Inhaling out and up. Again, really feeling your fingers stretching up in a V shape, so you can really feel that you're channeling that energy and you're open to receiving here. A few deep breaths here. And then touching the hands, bringing it down to the heart center. You're going to rub your hands very hard so it creates heat. Keep rubbing till your hands are really hot, and then place them on your closed eyes. So the palms of your hands on your eyes. Receive that warm energy with an open heart. Hands back to heart center, finding gratitude towards yourself for your taking time for your body and mind today. And then bringing your hands to the third eye center. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I really enjoyed receiving your energy. So thank you so much, and namaste.